Let's welcome the starting 15 for both the teams. Firstly, for the visiting Georgian Grizzlies. Leading off from Aurelia, number 1, William Whaley. From Zimbabwe is number 2, Tad Mundezi. From Barry, number 3, Ian Crawford. From Bolton is number 4, Andrew Brown. From Barry is number 5, Parker England. From Barry is number 6, Alex Graves. From Nigeria, number 7, Paul Amos Amal. From Barry is number 8, Jake Bolton. Let's welcome the starting 15 for the Humber Hawks. From Amwakwa, Ghana is the number 1, Ben Anani. From Brampton, Ontario, the number 3, Jason Barbato. From Toronto, Ontario, number 15, Iwante Yamura. From Pickering, Ontario, number 21, Declan Forty. From Toronto, Ontario, number 4, Steven Gonano. From Mississauga is number 11, Humber Pagumangira. From Mississauga is number 8, Ben Kirkhead. From Scarborough, Ontario, number 2, Harry Lutumba Mpogo. From Kingston, Ontario is number 10, Kate McFarland. From Kingston, Ontario, number 13, Gabe Vershoven. From Mississauga, Ontario, number 19, Alex Bolden. From Scarborough, Ontario is number 12, Prince Ndukwe. From Barrie, Ontario, number 7, James Rob Kennedy. And from Mississauga is D'Amico Smith. The head coach for the Humber Hawks is Fabian Ray.
You are watching the Hawks Sports Network. It's great to have you with us for a big rugby match here today. The Humber Hawks, undefeated through the regular season, got the bye here to the semifinal, taking on a Georgian Grizzlies team who are very formidable in their own right. Last year's defending champions. And the Grizzlies punched their way here after a quarterfinal win against Durham, a 31-20 victory there. My name is Matt Hamill, alongside my broadcast partner, Andrew Milani. Andrew, should be a great matchup here. Sun is shining. It's cool. It is November after all, but a nice day for rugby. Should be a fun match.
Yeah, absolutely. Humber ranked end-to-end as the top team in the OCAA. As you said, a 5-0 record, taking on the team that beat them last year in the finals. Humber looking to get back on top of that mountain for the first time since 2014 in Georgian. A formidable foe here, winning medals in the last 7 years, including that gold medal last year. Should be an interesting one here this afternoon.
Yeah, Georgian finishing off the regular season ranked 5th in the province. They were ranked as high as 4 through the course of the year. And a big charge there as Georgian with the first possession of the game and losing a few yards there. Humber with the most prolific offense in the OCAA over the course of the regular season. Humber scored a league best 289 points per game. That's an average, Andrew, of 57.8 points per match, and that's certainly a recipe for an undefeated season.
Yeah, it certainly was. I mean, the largest win they had this year was an 84-0 win at Algonquin this year, so this team can definitely pile up the points. They're not afraid to keep that foot down on the gas pedal. The last time they played Georgian was at Georgian. They won that one 43-22, so if that match says anything, it should be tighter than a lot of the matchups that Humber played, but again, should be very interesting to see.
And Andrew, the last time Humber was in action, that final game of the regular season, that win to improve to 5-0, they won 75-5 against Sheridan. Let's see if the Hawks can strike early with some of that aforementioned offense, and there it is. Opening try of the game on that far side of the field and give Humber an early 5-0 lead.
Yeah, Humber took advantage of Georgian giving away the ball right there. Right there in their own end. A dangerous spot for Georgian to give that ball away, and Humber taking advantage right there.
And who else to trust with the point after duties is Prince and Duquesne. Now that has really been amongst a stellar offensive season for Humber. Prince has really been that dude for the blue and gold.
Yeah, it really has, Matt. Led the OCAA in points this year with 77 and 21 converts. Also third in tries with 7, just one behind the leader.
So the team that wears navy blue and gold is hoping for provincial gold. Andrew, that's something that Humber has not been able to bring back to the trophy case since the 2014-2015 season.
Yeah, it's been a long time for head coach Fabian Rain seeing the top of the mountain in the OCAA, but this could be the team that finally breaks through and gets through that drought.
Yeah, Humber's coach Fabian Rain, 10th year player. On the other side, first year head coach for the Georgian Grizzlies, Josh Morgan. You mentioned that streak of consecutive medals. Andrew, there's the kick, and it is going to be wide left. And so 5 points will be what Humber comes away with in that early offensive drive.
Yeah, good effort, though, from that far out wide. Not a very easy kick to make.
And there's Prince jogging back, and that is a bad man in terms of a sort of player you're not super stoked to have to tackle in the open field. A lot of power.
Well, good luck if you can catch him.
So the great physical game of rugby, and early on Humber digging into their usual offensive prowess. So let's see if the Hawks can follow that up here, as that is kicked off and handled by Humber. Good tackle well into the Humber side of the field. Hawks moving into the middle, looking to gain some ground, a few extra yards. Ball is popped loose, and Prince will scoop that. Good passing here and some good yards gained. Humber moving back onto the other side, up the middle. Another good chunk play there. Humber knocking there on the door of the midfield line.
Yeah, this is where Humber just kind of breaks down their opponents, just keeps pounding it through. It just seems like only a matter of time for them to kind of break through the midfield here, as we've seen them do so many times this season.
Andrew, elsewhere in the OCAA, the other semifinal on this Saturday is well underway. A 12-12 tie between Conestoga and St. Lawrence.
Yeah, Conestoga, very good team as we've seen this year. They actually held Humber to the closest score we saw all this season. And St. Lawrence, the #1 team in their division, set to host the finals if they win this one. In that Conestoga match, Humber only winning that one by 5 points at home to Conestoga, 29-24, back in late September.
Yeah, Conestoga was ranked as high as #2 in the province earlier this season. They finished off the regular season ranked #4, dropping a few spots there. The official blowing that play dead. Looks like offside call is going to give Humber a good chance here.
Looks like they're going to kick it away.
And dangerously close to the parking lot with that boot. Is a lot of leg whenever Prince and Duquesne decides to boot it away.
I hope you parked very far away from the field.
That's one of the first ones here, Andrew. I misread the schedule. I was here an hour earlier than anticipated, and maybe that's going to come home to roost with a broken windshield. Who knows? Humber really pressing now, Andrew. We have some good, deep offensive pressure and penetration by Humber.
Yeah, great job to grab that ball right out of the line out, and in perfect position here that Humber set themselves up for.
Yeah, Humber now trying to push it outside. Loose ball, and that's going to be turned over to the Grizzlies. That's a big defensive play for Georgian. But Humber pushing them back closer to their try line here.
Yeah, we've seen Humber press the other teams in their own end. It's been a real problem for other teams to kind of get out of their own end and into some open space, and we'll see there Georgian just taking the safe play, kicking it away.
And a little misplay there for Humber. But a good boot there. Defensive effort by Georgian to kind of give themselves a little breathing room. So, Andrew, 12-12 in that St. Lawrence-Conestoga match. If Conestoga is the victor, then that would certainly bode well for Humber's prospects of hosting the championship game next week, should Humber be victorious here against Georgian. And well handled there. As Georgian with some space to work with. Good tackle there, going low. Back up into the middle. Good aggressive action right here. Another good tackle made right in front of us here as we approach the near side of the sideline. Not a lot of yards gained there on that push by Georgian. More of a lateral move. They're going to lose a yard there.
Humber doing a great job holding their line there, not letting these other players get to midfield.
Boy, you know, Humber with that advantage of having the week off, right? The bye through into the semifinal round here today. Of course, you always talk about that kind of pros and cons of having the time off in a physical
rest debate.
But in a physical sport like rugby, you got to imagine that week of rest is a big asset with those bumps and bruises. Scooped up here by Georgian and a couple of big tackles for Humber.
Yeah, that pass there went awry there. Georgian losing a few yards there, playing right into Humber's hands.
Liking the intensity here in this game early on, Andrew. Some good physicality. Really feels like Humber setting the tone early in the game. Loose ball on the ground. Oh, we might have a bad injury to the shoulder of a Georgian player.
Might have been the neck area as well.
So we'll have the training staff come out and take a look at the injured Georgian Grizzly player. But the left arm has been immobilized. Visions where a player falls on top in the tackle, and boy, we know that can really be quite painful and dangerous.
Yeah, a game like rugby, it's easy for guys to just like pile onto each other like that, but obviously we're going to hope that the player here walks off here and is in good health.
Well, Andrew, as we approach that 10-minute mark in this semifinal, players watering up in an injury timeout. And Humber with the early score, but didn't take long for Humber to get that first try of the match.
In the first couple minutes.
Well, Andrew just going to see the injured Grizzly back on his feet. Round of applause here, and he will make his way off. But, yeah, that looked like a painful injury to the left arm, left shoulder. You got to wonder about, yeah, like the collarbone, the clavicle situation with a play like that. Happened right in front of us, Andrew.
Yeah, and collarbone, if it is a break, I mean, that's a hard one to deal with. Can't really put a cast on that either. But it looks like we're going to pick up here.
So Humber with it inside of the Georgian side of the field. Scrum is all formed up here. Players locked up. And the ball's in. Good push by Georgian here, and it's going to collapse. And a very happy Grizzlies team after that injury timeout, liking their effort on that scrum.
Yeah, a chance there for them to kind of catch their breath a little bit, win that ball back, and the big question now is can they finally break through, get past the midfield here, and maybe put up some points.
Okay, we're going to do it all over again here. And it's fed in there. And Humber this time getting the good push, and this is going to allow them to break out cleanly and tackled after a few yards gained. Loose ball is handled by the Hawks. Another push right up into the middle. Ooh, that was fumbled for a moment there. Gosh, so much physicality early in this semifinal.
And still early on in this one, but basically all the game here has been played in the Georgian end so far, so that's been right into Humber's hands.
Yeah, for sure. We've seen Georgian with some big defensive stops, Andrew, but ultimately not much in the way of Humber's defense having to really be pushed up against their try line, as Georgian has been on occasion in just the first 13 minutes. Okay, so another scrum. This time it's going to be a bit further into the middle of the field area. Maybe about 5 yards further up than the previous two scrums. So, Andrew, a hot start for Humber, but after that, things have kind of slowed down in terms of just coming out of the gate like a cannon.
Yeah, I mean, I don't think we expected this one to turn out like that Sheridan game we saw a couple weeks ago. Georgian, obviously in the playoffs here for a reason, one of the top teams. We talked about that medal streak. We talked about them being the gold medal winners from last year. This is maybe going to be the biggest test of Humber here so far this year.
So taking some time to make sure everything is properly So apologies for a little technical glitch there. Me and Andrew, our microphones were a little snagged up there, but Andrew, we are back on air, and Humber with another try, a successful convert, not from the easiest angle either. So 12-0 is the score, and a good offensive start for Humber, which has kind of been their recipe for success all season long. Yeah,
Prince and Dukeway, like you mentioned, getting that convert there from a tough angle by way of Scarborough, the league leader in converts and points, once again getting it done, and we'll see what Humber does right now, back in action, up by 12 points, about halfway through the first half.
Humber and Georgian have played before. It was the 5th of October this season. Not to mention the gold medal game last year, which Humber fell and had to settle for silver, as the Grizzlies are the reigning OCAA champions. But earlier this year, Humber did get their regular season revenge with a 43-22 victory up north at Barrie. And now for the Hawks, a chance here when it matters in the playoffs to get their revenge from last year's championship loss. Georgian with a good forward push here. So, Andrew, this is really the deepest the Grizzlies have been in Humber's zone all game long.
Yeah, they really have been. Really, before they haven't really gotten past midfield. Now, good opportunity for them here to finally put some points up on their board, and a great play there to burst through that line of Humber players there, but
good
lose some ground. Ended up getting the recovery there, though.
Yeah, it looked like maybe what was a great play, a second effort, was all for naught with that pass getting lost in translation, but the Grizzlies able to scramble back on it. So some good penetration into Humber's zone by the team from Barrie. The Hawks on their home field. Hawks have kind of alternated playing games between here at the Brampton Rugby Club versus the Humber usual home field at the Humber Valley Field at the North Campus. But that has been, availability of the Valley Field has been a little up in the air.
Either way, we've been treated to some great rugby here this season. This Humber team has been a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, well, right here, we're just situated by Pearson Airport at this Brampton field, and things are going to collapse in there to a thunderous applause from the Grizzlies as Georgian is looking to make even more ground here onto the near side of the field, cutting back into the middle. That's going to gain an extra yard or two.
Yeah, Georgian looks poised here to finally put some points on the board.
And this would be big, right, to respond. I mean, you see Humber score back-to-back, getting a 12-0 lead, and how big would this be for Georgian, who were able to put up 22 points against the Hawks in their previous match earlier this season. That victory for Humber.
It's going to be interesting to see here how adamant Georgian is to try and push that ball through the middle to try and get that easy convert attempt. He's down by 12. That's 2 possessions right now, so every point here is going to matter.
So this is certainly a great look for this Georgian team, as they are, let's say, tough to tell from our angle in the broadcast booth, but I don't know, let's say 10 yards from the try zone.
Yeah, 10, maybe 15 at the most, Matt.
Can they convert here in this OCAA semifinal game? Ball is out. And it's loose. Georgian able to recover, but they do lose a few yards, so let's call them 20 yards back from that try zone now.
Yeah, now what the Grizzlies needed there, another fumbled ball there.
Yeah, some ball security issues. Andrew, not sure. Looks like maybe the forward pass is going to be the violation that gives the ball back to Humber, or at least gives the Hawks a chance to really flip the script here, as it looked like Georgian was well poised to get their first score of the game. We'll see if Humber has anything to say about that.
Yeah, just a bad break there for the Grizzlies. Not what they need at this point in the game.
Ball's in. Good forward movement by the Grizzlies. And things will kind of collapse here.
Referee pointed to the side of the Grizzlies.
So our first kind of quarter of the game has been very scrum heavy. Nothing coming easy here. You know, Andrew, last time we saw the Hawks in action at the Valley Field, just a gorgeous autumn day. It was like 20 degrees. The colors were in full effect in that beautiful Humber Valley Field. And one thing we saw with the Hawks, and it was just high-flying offense. And things are very tightly contested here, as you would expect in a OCAA semifinal match. Two solid rugby clubs. Things are going to go in favor of the Grizzlies here.
This one really has that playoff-style atmosphere. A lot of defense here, not too much scoring.
So some good yardage gained by Georgian. Now Humber is going to get the call.
And the score update from the other semifinal matchup, Conestoga up 26-12 on St. Lawrence.
And that is kicked off right into our broadcast booth. Andrew, you and I love some rugby, not kind of dyed-in-the-wool rugby guys. So one day we'll have to get someone to explain why these kicks out of play are just so aggressively beyond the necessary amount of yardage.
Especially here in the broadcast booth. You gotta watch for those bounces.
Yeah.
The ball will take some funky hops.
Oh, that was a good tackle there and kind of pushing Humber back, but a good second effort to push things ahead. Humber now trying to work it to the outside, and some highly aggressive play here as Humber now marches onto the Georgian side. What a good defensive stand by Humber. You know, they bend, but they did not break as Georgian got deep into the Humber zone, but the Hawks have now flipped it and are now charging back into the Grizzlies' end.
The Grizzlies have a tough defense here, but Humber's been able to break through every time.
Yeah, Humber has just really kind of had the juice offensively, right? You talk about the highest scoring team and a huge truck there. That was absolutely devastating forward movement there by the Humber runner.
Humber inching ever so closer to that try zone.
Yeah, that was just with mean intentions there. And how about this as we get a good forward spark? Humber with some good yardage gained there. Let's take a second look here, Andrew, at a big truck move. Goodness.
Yeah, just got the head down there and stormed right through the play.
You got to love it. The physical sports, they don't come much more physical than this here one we're watching today.
Not for the faint of heart.
And that is kicked well out of play. So Humber will have really done a good job here of pushing it deep, deep into the zone of Georgian.
If they can win this lineout, that'd be absolutely massive.
In a moment, we'll have a replay of Humber's second try of the game. We did kind of have to step aside to address some technical issues. And how about that? Finding a lane, and that's going to be Humber's third try of the game, 17-0. Andrew, that time a little gap in Georgian's defense, and Humber exploited it.
Yeah, found that gap right there, and the Georgian defenders didn't seem to be on to him. He just snuck right through there for an easy try, got down, made a little bit of a cut there to the middle to make that convert attempt just that much easier, but overall, Humber in great position.
Let's run it back. Here's our most recent try by Humber, and just like that, the sort of loop around, and nobody had marked the man.
Yeah, a little bit of trickery there, you know. Those players there all kind of pressed up in one position, and the player able to just break free, and find a lane there for the try zone.
So good angle here in terms of our camera shot, but a little difficult for Prince and Dukwe here. Humber scored 3 tries in this game. All have really kind of been on the periphery.
Yeah, credit to Georgian's defense for that, not making things easy for Humber to press things right up in the middle.
Yeah, that's a good point. And now Humber's greatest producer this season is getting ready to fire off this point after. And it's up, and it looks good. Oh, off the post.
And Matt, you put the kibosh on that one, I think.
Well, Andrew is a classic single doink to deny Prince the chance to put Humber up 19-0. Let's take another look, and our boss, Brian Lepp, saying that I put the kibosh on this one.
I have to say, Matt, I agree with him there. He looked good right there to the last second, just bouncing off the post. Didn't quite get the friendly bounce there.
And so, 17-0 is our score. We're over the 30-minute mark here in the first half. So what will the final minutes of the first frame bring? Can Georgian get a response? And Andrew, we talked about they had a solid offensive drive just earlier here in this half and weren't able to convert. But, I mean, how important is it now for Georgian to get down there and get some points on the board?
Yeah, absolutely. In the final stretch here, this first half, you have to put points up here on the board. I mean, you got to find a way to get a try here and try and get it. You know what? Don't even worry about getting it as close to the middle as possible. Just worry about points on the board at this point. Because I don't know how many more opportunities they're going to have here with Humber being so good in the midfield.
It's a two-pronged assignment, right? Not only do they have to score, but they have to find a way to cool off Humber's prolific offense. And Andrew, for a Humber team that's been scoring over 55 points per match this season on average, certainly Georgian has been faring well in that department thus far in terms of keeping Humber below average. But goodness, we'll see if the Hawks can tack another one on here. Powerful drive up the middle. That's just keeping the legs moving through contact there.
So strong there from your lower body. You have to be able to do that.
Yeah, great fight. And second chance here as Humber gaining even more yardage.
Great job to fight for those last few yards. Big advantage here for Humber. One more try here to get that try before the end of the half.
Oh, we had a big customer for Humber trying to go up Main Street, but losing the handle on it. And that puts an end to the drive as Georgian now in possession. Georgian pushing it out to that far side.
And the Hawks here got to hold up strong. We've seen them press Georgian back up in their own end before, forcing Georgian to kick it away. Can they do that again?
Little bobble there, and that's going to slow down that push. Strong tackle. Georgian gains about a yard or two. And this is a good looking play to the outside. Ball's loose, and Humber's just going to really attack it. And that's going to allow the ball to really just bounce a little further back in towards the try line of Georgian. Recovering some of those yards now here. And another big physical play there. Is intensity through the roof right now here.
Yeah, Georgian's really hungry for that, for a try here before halftime. Really feeling the pressure.
And the boot in towards the Humber bench area. And so the ball will be on the Humber side of the field. We'll see if Georgian can maybe get a turnover here and get another push in towards Humber's offensive zone. But right now, Andrew, the 17-0 score is what we're dealing with. Yeah, so 31-12 is the score as of this moment in the Conestoga-St. Lawrence game in favor of Conestoga. Good drive by Prince. Ball loose. And that's going to spark a good chance for Georgian. They've got some numbers on that near wing. Whistle to blow the play dead. A little costly mistake there for Humber, as this is going to set up the Grizzlies in a real good spot.
Yeah, absolutely there, Matt. Although we've seen Georgian in this position here before earlier in the half. They couldn't quite get it done. Let's see if they can do it here. It's going to be a tough one, though.
Yeah, it's asking a lot of your defense if you're Humber to continuously shut the door when Georgian's able to get it this deep and threaten it like this. But we'll see if the Hawks can add another defensive stand into the resume here in this semifinal match. Just an excellent drive here, and Humber able to really sort of minimize the threat. There's a big truck move there once again. Andrew, these drives up the middle for Humber, we have seen really the ball carriers for Humber deliver in the blow on a number of occasions.
Almost losing the ball there, picking it right back up.
Again, we talk about that physical edge, and I mean, a sport like rugby, you know, the big guys up front, that physical tone, you can't really measure just how important that is to your success. And, you know, you think you'd have to give Humber the edge in the physical play early on here in this first half.
Yeah, absolutely, Matt. Especially we've seen a few big plays, players kind of bursting right through the middle, through a lot of contact.
And Andrew, you know, it's one thing to be delivering blows like that, carrying the ball in the first half, but as the game goes on, you know, that's maybe can just become an even bigger and bigger factor as guys get a little tired. And we'll see if Humber can keep the foot on the pedal. So far, it's been a part of the success here in the first half. But Andrew, this is a tight match. We'll see if either team can, in the dwindling minutes of the first half here, maybe put a little stamp on things here to carry some momentum over into the second half. It's Georgian right now with the chance. Pass a little high. It is handled, though. On to the Humber side of the field. And a whistle here will give Georgian a good crack at it.
This is going to be their final shot before halftime, and boy, a couple of those passes there were a few of those oh my passes where you just say, oh my, how did that not get out of their hands there? But they have not been great with the ball handling here early on. That's something that's really got to improve here down the stretch for Georgian. Only a 3-possession game here, though, so the game is still well within reach.
Oh, no question. It is not the type of situation we've seen a few times with Humber where they have really kind of put the game away in the first half. Now, we got a close matchup here. And as we expected, right, that Humber-Georgian matchup early in the year, Humber did come away victorious on the road against Georgian. Now playing the Grizzlies here at home. As we mentioned, the sort of extra layer of the revenge plot for Humber, as Humber had to settle for silver last year courtesy of these reigning gold Grizzlies. Good contact. Ball moved to the outside. Good yardage gained and a excellent play with an even better tackle there.
Great ball movement by the Grizzlies.
And strong tackle made. Humber thought they might have been able to come away with it here, but the official gives the advantage to Georgian. 17-0, and there we are inside the last minute of regulation here in the first half.
Georgians are really going to want to press here.
Yeah, this is huge. And for Humber, also a very big test right here. Keep Georgian off the board. That would be major. Nice, nifty pass there. And boy, that is reaching into the bag of tricks almost to try to get some first half points. Change of direction. And able to find a gap. Humber struggling with the tackling as a very powerful run puts Georgian in the best position they've been in all game long.
Scrapping for those final few yards.
Humber has stood strong on the doorstep.
Georgian's just a couple yards out, though.
Can Georgian crack the code here and punch one in? It's all hands on deck for the Humber defense.
Right at the edge of halftime.
And that is just so close. Now it's passed back, looking for some space. Another key tackle made by Humber. Wow, tense moments here on this final drive of the first half.
Humber refuses to give an inch.
Denied once again. Whistle from the official. We'll see how things get sorted out here, but this could be quite consequential. Georgian celebrating, saying, "We got it, boys." So despite Humber's best efforts there, and there we have it, a happy Georgian fan base.
Fireworks.
Here, and I'll just see if this one makes it through the uprights, Andrew. Trying to keep my job. And the kick is off, and it is, I don't know. I think that was no good.
Yeah, that looked wide left to me, Matt.
Tried to put a little more leg on it than necessary. Seemed like to me it was kind of that full steam ahead boot. Maybe he had to sacrifice some of the accuracy. And Andrew, before we head to our halftime, that's a 17-5 is our final score. Here's a look at a try you missed earlier in the match. And there was that second try of the game for Humber, punched in, and a jubilant Hawks team has started off really strong, and the convert was nailed on that second try. So, Andrew, 17-5 is our score. A whole different vibe as Georgian able to respond late in the first half. We'll see the rest of this semifinal match very shortly, right after this quick break.
Welcome back to Brampton Rugby Club for our semifinal matchup here between the Humber Hawks and the Georgian Grizzlies. Humber looked good here early on, scoring the first 17 points, but Georgian with a strong closeout of the half, putting up a try, and they missed the convert, but now within 2 scores.
We're back in action. Second half now officially underway. A big collision there as Georgian full steam ahead. You know, Andrew, after a very impressive first half from Humber, it was a good finish by Georgian. Getting on the board, 17-5 is our score, and it looks like Georgian kind of maybe carrying over some momentum here.
Yeah, picking up right where they left off there. Got a bit of a friendly bounce there off one of their players' hands and being able to scoop that ball up now. Looking like a threat to attack here again for another try.
A stout Georgian team that just are not allowing Humber any of those huge chunk plays we've seen from the Hawks time and time again this season.
Yeah, it's kind of been their bread and butter for Humber so far this year. Those big plays, those big burst plays, they usually result as for a try, but not today. Again, that playoff kind of atmosphere here. A lot of defense here. Both teams stout defensively, making things tough for each other.
And so this is going to allow Georgian to pin the ball very deep into the Humber end. So can Georgian go back-to-back with the scores here? They were unsuccessful with their point after kick. So with that convert missed, only coming away with the 5 points. Humber is 1 for 3 on their converts. And that has been a product of Georgian, really not allowing much up the middle. Humber getting all their scoring plays on the perimeter, on the outside. So Prince and Dukwe 1 for 3 on those extra kicks there.
Yeah, all 3 have been from the outside, but not much wind here to speak of. So a little surprising that they were only able to convert on 1.
Yes, the lack of wind is great news for the kickers here today. Also great news for everyone who has to be outside right now on this November 2nd day. It is cool, but the wind would take it to a whole nother level. So great day, sun's out. Great semifinal rugby action on the table here. Georgian looking like they're pushing forward, fighting for another score. And they'll get it, and right out of the gate. And Andrew, this game has a whole different feel after that second score.
Yeah, no kidding. Georgian really came out of the gate really pushing for that second try, and they get it right there, kind of trucking it right there through that Humber line and getting those 5 points. And it's going to be a little bit of a difficult attempt here, but could be worse for this convert attempt.
Let's take a second look here. And Andrew, we talked about Humber maybe having a bit of a physical edge in that first half at times, but I mean, there's just the Hawks getting sort of outpushed on their try line.
Yeah, just a massive men just pushing that one through for the 5 points.
And so this would be big for Georgian if, you know, they can hit this convert, hit their next one. That really gives them quite an edge over a Hawks team that have only converted 1 of their kicks. Ready to blast this one away. And it looks good. I'm not sure if it came up short. Yeah, Andrew, the line was great. It seems like any kick that I claim is going in a favorable direction does not end up being good. So
you should just pull the George Costanza, go with the opposite of your instinct. Yeah, the line was good. It looked like it was going to tuck in there right beside that inside post, but just didn't have the distance.
Yeah, not enough leg on it. So here we go, 17-10. Georgian could tie it up with a try and a convert. You know Humber now, Andrew, this is the time for them to respond. They've allowed back-to-back scores, and it's just been a bit of a sidewinder kick there, but that is handled. And a good physical play by Georgian. And Andrew, this is an interesting storyline here as the game has gone on, which is the Grizzlies really starting to kind of push their way around the field here.
Yeah, talk about getting your second win here. Great run, being able to push their way past midfield into the Humber end. Wow.
Oh, the shoelace tackle, and that's going to stop that offensive push for the time being. Georgian working their way up into the middle, and a big tackle there by Humber. And the Humber faithful are cheering as a call goes their way. Wow, Andrew, that's, again, just seeing this Georgian team showing no signs of slowing down. That was a big offensive threat there into the Humber zone.
Going to kick that away there, but a big tackle leading up to that. And Humber, could that be that little bit of momentum that they need to kind of find their way back in? They've been pretty quiet ever since putting up that 17th point of the game.
Yeah, I mean, 3 unanswered scores for Humber, and yeah, you know, maybe some teams could be tempted to get a little complacent, but Humber is being challenged to absolutely fire things back up here and try to slow down Georgian. Oh, wow, just getting low there. That was beautiful work there by the Georgian runner, just getting the lower center of mass in that collision. Onto the outside now. Good tackle by Humber. A little textbook there with the wrap. Back inside. About a yard gained. And a big, strong collision there from both teams, really bringing the noise right now in the physicality department. Boy, things have really picked up. See a member of the Humber squad limping back onto the line there.
Georgian doing a good job fighting for some extra yards here, but a bad pass there.
Yeah, and a strong follow-up tackle by Humber. And Humber going to get the call.
And Georgian, once again, another problem there with ball control with that pass just going awry. We saw it really cost them there in the first half, and could that put the stop to their big momentum swing here?
OCAA semifinal. We have Humber taking on the Grizzlies here. On the other side, we have Conestoga against the St. Lawrence Surge out in Kingston. Last checked, it was Conestoga with a decided edge on the scoreboard in that match against St. Lawrence. Good physicality here. You gotta like this if you're a Humber fan, as the Hawks have now kind of transitioned into Georgian's side of the field. Good outside passing here, looking for a lane to work with. And that's played back here and a couple extra yards gained. Good effort by Humber. As Prince Ndukwe is going to pass it. It bounces off the ground, but handled by Humber.
Humber doing a great job here, working quick, getting those passes away in very small windows.
Marching up a yard at a time here. Oh, and a fumbled pass will give it back to Georgian by the looks of it. And Humber's got to be careful now. They don't allow any big chunk plays with a nice assertive tackle there as the play comes to a halt.
Yeah, Humber was able to kind of get back in defensive mode there quite quickly and quite nicely. Could have been dangerous if they let Georgian get away with there with a long run.
Okay, so stoppage in play. Got the scrum all set up. And still waiting on everything to get to the officials' liking. Fellas getting ready to link up here. Both of these teams are looking for a W here today. That would send them to the gold medal game. For Humber, you know, this has been a season that has just been dynamite, right? Undefeated, 5-0 in the regular season, getting a bye here into this semifinal. So looking to win their 6th game of the year. Back in action here, 17-10. Humber has the ball deep into the Georgian zone, but it looks like the Grizzlies able to come away with the rock here. Looking for some breathing room. Great rush right now, and Humber needs to wrap up those legs and drive them back. They'll do just that. Back-to-back scores for Georgian and looking to make it a 3rd. Oh, we have a player maybe with a groin injury, as it was a strong push up that near sideline, Andrew, but as you could see, it's pretty clear a groin-looking injury.
Hey, he's down. Obviously, we don't like to see that. Hopefully, it's nothing serious.
Yeah, it was a collision of 2 big fellas from opposing teams. And yeah, those members of the training staff have come out to take a look at the injured Grizzly. And players will water up here on this November Saturday while we have the injury timeout. Temperature's up to 5 degrees now, Andrew. It's a good 5, though, I'll tell you that.
Oh, yeah. No wind, lots of sun.
Considering the last time we saw Humber in action 2 weeks ago in that final game of the regular season, it was about a 24-degree day.
A lot changes in a few weeks.
I was kind of sort of looking ahead to what was likely going to be a much different scene 2 weeks later as we step into November.
I mean, I'll take this over the conditions we had for soccer last week.
Yeah, Andrew, you know, for Humber's gold medal winning effort in the men's soccer side of things, it was a windy day and probably a little bit warmer than this, but anytime you get that wind in, so not only is that making it just a lot better in terms of the conditions these athletes are working through right now, but a kicking game, right? You could just really see for this rugby match here a big implication, and the injured Grizzly getting a round of applause as he makes his way back to his feet. And it was just a good rush with the ball, but after a collision, a little awkwardness as he started grabbing that leg, and looks like maybe a pulled muscle or something of that nature.
Yeah, it doesn't appear he'll be back in the game anytime soon, unfortunately. But we'll get back underway.
Good job by Humber as they're going to get a great push and gain some extra yards. And extra yards is an understatement. Now breaking away from the pack. Dipsy Doodle to create even more room. What a play for the Hawks. Humber now is trying to answer. It's been back-to-back scores for Georgian. A fumbled pass will cause Humber to lose a few precious yards.
And Humber hasn't made that mistake too often here today. But not the time you want to see them make that.
Yeah, Humber in that first half was a little bit better. Give them the edge on ball security, as that was almost another drop pass there. Another good yardage gain. Big collision, driving those legs. Humber's about 20 yards out Loose ball. So we're at the point of the game where it's kind of feels like the next score, Andrew, is just going to be monumental for the outcome of this game. Can Humber kind of get back in the driver's seat, reestablish a 2-score lead, or is Humber going to let Georgian score 3 unanswered and have a chance to tie this one up?
And it might be Captain Obvious here, but the next try here is going to be the biggest one here of the match. I mean, Humber a chance to go back up by 2 scores, and Georgian a chance to crawl right back and possibly tie up the game if they get one.
Yeah, as we're approaching, if you will, the 4th quarter of this semifinal match.
Crunch time.
Georgian coming away with it, doing a good job of keeping Humber from the scoring effort. Humber got close there, but it was kind of some ball handling issues that killed that drive. Let's see if Humber can get possession back. Georgian with some nice moves on the outside.
But Georgian, ever since they put up those last points on the board, they really haven't threatened to score. Give the Humber defense a lot of credit.
Couple of Hawks swarming to the ball and driving him back, and that's right in front of the Humber bench. You know, that's the kind of play that'll get the guys fired up. And another big play. Looks like Humber now with the rock as a turnover. Gives it to Humber, marching through, and Humber right on the doorstep now, maybe 5-10 yards away. Good tackle, ball down on the ground, scooped up. A chance to score a huge try in this semifinal match. Final score in that Conestoga-St. Lawrence match, Andrew, was a 31-12 victory for Conestoga. That will be whichever team is victorious here today is taking on the Condors. Humber hoping to be that team. A try here would certainly bode well for those gold medal hopes, and a scoring play for Humber is converted. Wow, how about that, Andrew, on that outside wing, and a big play there for Humber.
Yeah, I mean, Humber kept pushing through. It had been a while since they scored, but showing a lot of fight. Georgian not making it easy, but just able to push through to get those next 5 points, and they're back up by 2 scores. One more look.
So once again, Humber really kind of buttering their bread on the outside of that Georgian defense here today. That's been what the Grizzlies, and I mean, obviously that is what, as a defending team, if you're going to give it up on the outside, make it a little tough on Prince and Dukeway with this convert. But this could really put the pressure on, because if Prince can make this, that means Georgian will have to not only score 2 tries to tie up the game, but we'll also have to convert both of those kicks on those respective tries. So this could really be quite the kick if Prince can drain this. And Andrew, I feel like I put the kibosh on him last time, so I will be utterly silent once this thing is in the air.
It's a tough angle. We've seen him make it from here before, though.
And basing on how that bounced, Andrew, that was a little short. 22-10. So a glimmer there for Georgian if they can put together 2 scoring plays, Andrew. But ultimately for the Hawks, you can kind of hear Humber communicating right now. You know, this is a team with gold medal hopes based on the way they performed this regular season, and they were yelling at each other and trying to pump each other up of, we've already given them too much. Now we're not going to give them anything else here. Let's see how Humber is able to close things out here as we are now at the 61st minute. Excellent rush right in front of us here as we approach the midfield area. And a little extra here. Physical play. And a big tackle, loose ball for Humber. Humber with it here.
Whoa.
That's a big tackle. I mean, he took him airborne, Andrew, drove him back a few yards.
I don't think we've quite seen one like that here today.
You can call that the big brother tackle, Andrew. That was major. And a good collision here, Andrew. This game is physical, even at any given time, but it feels like the physicality is dialed up to an 11 right now.
And Humber really with a chance here to put the game away with another try. Great run down the side. So they lose it.
Yeah, Andrew, it was such a great chunk play there. I mean, one of the bigger stretch plays we've had, and it seemed like there's nobody home for that secondary pass there.
Humber still getting it done here. We've seen Georgian now, they got the ball back, but they've been doing a good job forcing Humber to get that ball outside, not giving them anything easy down the middle.
Good stiff arm there, and great job by the Hawks, able to chop him down. That was a dangerous play, though. It looked like if Georgian could beat that one tackler, they would have had quite the window to run down the field. Boy, this is just great OCAA men's rugby action. Big run here, and a couple of Hawks tacklers converging on the ball runner. And good job here. Humber driving back the Grizzlies. They are right on that center field line. Looks like Georgian has pushed it just onto the Hawks side now. Humber in hot pursuit. Georgian looking for a lane. They're going to lose about 5 yards there. And we got all kinds of rough stuff going on here, Andrew. And we'll have an injury timeout, it looks like, as a member of the Grizzlies is being looked at by the training staff.
And Humber really making things difficult here on the Grizzlies. They really need an explosive play here if they want to come back in this one. As we mentioned before, they need to either get 3 tries or 2 tries and a convert. And, well, Georgian hasn't been able to put a convert away yet, but a big play here, getting that ball down in the middle of the try zone, that would certainly be a big help here. But,
yeah,
boy, Humber won't just give that away for free.
Well, yeah, I mean, it was the late first half action by Georgian that really started to build the momentum, and then Georgian came here into the second half hotter than a $2 pistol, Andrew, but it seems like that certainly cooled off a little bit. Yeah. So can the Grizzlies dig deep? And they don't just need the single score anymore. They got to get 2, keep Humber off the board, also make a convert, and that would allow Georgian a chance to tie, maybe force some extra action here.
Certainly, it's going to be tough here for them down the stretch, but 15 minutes left to go here, not at the end by any means.
So still an injured player here as we have the teams huddled up. The young man is sitting up, but the trainer's still looking at maybe that right leg or knee. Injuries have certainly been less kind to the Grizzlies this game, Andrew. We saw what looked like maybe a separated shoulder or clavicle situation, a collarbone situation from a Georgian player early in the game. Had that groin injury on the near sideline just a few moments ago, and now back on his feet. Great to see. But thus far, the 2 injured Grizzlies had not made their way back into the game, and now a third makes his way off of the field with quite the limp, as you see there on the left side of your screen.
Yeah, certainly a tough break there for Georgian. Another tough break in terms of these injured players that just seem to keep piling up.
Well, Georgian made the trip down the 400 highway. You know, they were looking to reinforce their ability to beat the Hawks as they did last year in the gold medal match. Yep. But this year has been a different year. Humber has been riding high. The #1 ranked team in the province, undefeated record, scored the most points of any team in the OCAA. But, Andrew, you can throw all those accolades out if you can't clinch and get it done in the playoffs. You want to play your best rugby, or with any sport, just be playing at your best as you get into the crunch time phase, right? You don't want to have that situation where you start hot and then fall off. I mean, last time we saw Humber, it was a 75-5 victory, so we didn't think they were sort of slowing down by any measure heading into the postseason.
No, but like you said, you want to come into the playoffs playing your best rugby, your best of any sport really, and with Humber, it's really all about the hardware and securing that, and especially it's all about the gold here for the Navy and gold.
Humber able to come away with it. Slashing through the line, and the pass is going to allow this play to explode another 20 yards. And now a fight for it. Hawks have it. Prince and Dukeway with it. Pass handled on the outside. Wow, how about that move? Strong tackle there, but Humber continuing to push forward. Right up the gut here. Ball on the ground.
And if nothing else, Humber possessing the ball here, time keeps on slipping into the future. And that clock, precious seconds ticking away for Georgian.
And right up the sideline, and a good tackle made. That was necessary as Humber is now right on the doorstep.
Yeah, and they could really put the game out of reach here.
Yeah, this would be a backbreaker for the Grizzlies. And Humber's going to come away with another try there. Hands in the air. 27-10. With some banged up looking Grizzlies backed up in their try zone. But another big play and just doing whatever it takes right in front of that Hawks bench. Andrew will take a second look.
Yeah, Humber getting it done on that far side. Georgian once again keeping Humber off to that sideline, but really doesn't matter if you keep allowing them to score. And Humber doing that quite well here today, although it's going to be another tough convert attempt for Prince and Dukeway. Only 1 for 4 on the day for the OCAA leader in converts.
But he's had only those lower percentage attempts, right? When exactly what he's working with here. Another tough one. It's got a long way to go and a short time to get there. I heard you do some Steve Miller lyrics earlier, so I feel like I can do a little cannonball run.
Let's see what Prince can do here as we approach the final 10 minutes.
It's up. It's got the leg. And it is wide to the left. So it's going to be a 17-point lead, Andrew. This is what we came into the second half with the point differential.
So the hill here for Georgian to climb just got that much higher. They're going to need 3 tries in a convert now to tie this one up.
It was 17-5 coming into the second half, actually, so it was a 12-point differential, but now back up to 17. A 3-score game. That one almost getting lost in the sun a little bit, and Georgian able to capitalize. Up the middle. Georgian has to find a score here. They're running the wrong way right now. Injured Humber Hawk behind the play.
Yeah, it looks like a pulled calf.
Good chunk play. High tackle's going to slip right off, but a Humber Hawk coming in low will get the job done. These players really mixing it up right now physically. And this is a good chance here as the Grizzlies heading towards an injured Hawk. So as an injured Hawk, one of the big fellas is still getting tended to. We'll finally get a whistle from the official. Not sure if it's a cramp, Andrew. You saw the way the training staff, as you kind of spotted, were kind of rubbing down that leg. There's a look at the Grizzlies sideline. Now this is such a big play. You know, once we get back in action here, Andrew, Georgian does not have a lot of time to work with, so they're going to have to find a way to strike fast here. If Humber can even maybe allow a try here, but really make Georgian work for it, drain some clock, you know, that would bode well for Humber's pathway to the gold medal match next Saturday.
Yeah, and Humber not playing this like, you know, they have limited time to work with here and a good point differential. You heard one of the Humber players saying, don't let them. Yeah, great.
He's staying in the game, Andrew.
And one of the Humber just saying, don't give them any more energy. Humber wanting to just end things right now. Obviously, they would love to keep this at a 27-10 game, at least for now.
Yeah, sorry to cut you off, but what a big kind of energy play for the Humber Hawks to keep the injured big fella in the game. So line-out play, as we mentioned, Georgian has a lot of pressure here to strike quickly. Up high, hauled down. Good stalemate right now as things will kind of break apart. Looks like a fight for the ball. Humber able to rip it away. Trying to put the stamp on this OCAA semifinal. And Andrew, with the loss of St. Lawrence earlier today and Conestoga being the team advancing to the gold medal game, Humber, if they win, a chance to host the gold medal match next weekend.
Yeah, huge opportunity to take that hardware, take that gold medal at home. Always easier when you're sleeping in your own bed the night before.
Or avoid a long bus ride on game day. Things break apart here.
Just over 5 minutes left to go.
Yep. It's a Humber team that's been the leading offense in the province of Ontario. They've also done a very good job defensively. Did not lead the province in the regular season in terms of best points against, but we're right in the mix there. Let's see if the Humber defense can kind of close things out. Moved into the midline area. Good tackle by Georgian. Humber just kind of stumbling and bumbling, getting a few extra yards here. Ball on that wing. Can the Hawks use some speed, maybe get to the promised land here, get from being so far backed up on their try zone? Andrew, ball security, something we've talked about throughout the game. It's going to be huge right now.
They cannot let that ball slip away, and for Humber, if they can get this ball to the other side of the field, that might be good enough to secure the W.
Oh, we got a lot of foot speed to work with here, and cutting back inside.
Oh.
And just a beautiful play, the fake pass. My goodness. And this might be the one to seal the deal, and the big man makes his way in for another Humber try, and it looks all but certain that the gold medal match awaits the Humber Hawks.
Yeah, certainly so, Matt. A great run there. The bow on the package, if you will, to put these 5 points on the board. And in good position here to score the convert as well. We'll get a look at the whole run.
Yeah, it's just marvelous stuff. It all started here on this near side, right in front of us. Great move into the middle. I mean, just a couple different things you could highlight in that run. The kind of the moves to make some players miss. The pass to really open things up for the scoring play.
Yeah, there was that cut there to the middle where he lost his man. The player went diving for him. Just an amazing sight to see. And Princeton Dukeway, this is going to be his easiest chance at a convert all day.
I was going to say it, Andrew, and then I thought, you know what? I could be accused of another kibosh. So we'll see if Prince can knock this one through. Andrew, it's already a 4-score game right now.
Yeah, with 2 minutes left to go, you got to think this is over.
And Prince nails that one. And with the sun shining here on a cool November day, Humber is looking like they've done enough here on their home field to avenge last year's loss in the gold medal match. Humber settling for silver, as last year it was the Grizzlies here that took home the gold, but Georgian now poised to fall to Humber. Andrew, it was Humber with a real hot start, some great resurgence from the Grizzlies in the middle of the game, right at the end of the first half, beginning of the second, but other than those two scores with missed convert kicks, Jordan just has not been able to respond to what we've seen from Humber all year long, which is just real good physical play and real good offense.
Yeah, these two halves really kind of like mirrors of each other, where Humber finishing up strong, or starting off strong in the first half and really ending off strong here in the second half. But end of the first half, we saw Georgian really strong. They picked up right where they left off in the second, but after that, Humber really kind of coming in there, reestablishing their game, and has looked as strong as ever here.
Yeah, it's a great point, partner. Kind of the mere reflection of these two halves.
And literally in score, too. 17-5, the score in each half.
My goodness. The parallels.
Yeah.
Quite amazing, but, you know, it's one of those numbers things you can look at, and we kind of highlighted all those statistics for Humber. #1 ranked in the province, undefeated, 5-0 in the regular season, led the province in scoring, and seems fitting that this team is able to, as they've just continued playing strong rugby, earn their ticket to the gold medal round, and they'll be taking on a Conestoga Condors team, and that should be we saw so many great matches, and maybe the gold will save the best for last here in the men's rugby schedule.
Yeah, and all those points, all those statistics, throw them out the window. The most important game's on tap next week against the team that held Humber the closest all season. Should be a very interesting one next Saturday.
Ball popped up, flying high. Humber kind of retreating back into their own zone. And for Georgian, they'll be taking on a St. Lawrence Surge team. So that will be what appears our bronze medal match will be shaken out like. St. Lawrence was really the team to beat in the OCAA East Division. They finished with a 4-1 record, allowed a league low 52 points over the course of the regular season. So Georgian will have their work cut out for them in a tough East Division opponent.
And Georgian with a big medal streak on the line there against one of the best defensive teams in the province. Should be a very interesting bronze medal match.
Yeah, for Georgian, they won that gold last year. The previous 4 years before that, they captured 4 silvers in a row. Humber was held off of the medal board in the 2021 and 2022 seasons, but last year got back on the podium with the silver. Big rush here as Georgian gains some good yardage. On the Humber side here, beyond the 80th minute. Oh, that was a smack right there. You could hear that tackle. My goodness, late game. Physical play there. Georgian on the receiving end of that blow. And a gritty finish here as it looks like Humber's 34 points will be enough here.
And about to improve to 6-0 on the season.
Yeah, Humber had last week off with that quarterfinal round bye. And there's the boot and a couple of Grizzlies in hot pursuit. And mishandled. So what could be our final scrum of the game, Andrew. Georgian looking to put one on the board late here. They're going to have to get through a pretty stout line of Humber defenders. Good passing to the outside, cutting back into the middle. Big tackle there to stop the try. Another good tackle there as Humber shutting the door once again. And to break up that lovely symmetry you highlighted moments ago with the numbers in the first and second half scoring, Georgian with a late half try.
I think this is going to be a matter of too little too late, though, for Georgian, although it was a great attempt here at the end of the game just to post some more points on the board.
Yeah, you know, a good program like Georgian is going to pride themselves on not going down without a fight and playing to the last minute. And, of course, Andrew, the season not over, right? You have a chance, like you said, keep the medal streak alive after following up 4 consecutive silvers with a gold last year. Georgian now can stay in the podium mix with a bronze with a win next week against the very tough St. Lawrence team. We'll see if the Grizzlies can chop in this sharp angle convert.
Tough angle. That missed.
No good. Final whistle. Final score 34-15 as the Humber Hawks really with a hard-fought effort at the advantage of being on their home field. Andrew, that's the kind of gift you get when you have an undefeated regular season.
Absolutely.
Humber now improving to 5-0 with a very solid semifinal.
Yeah, and I mean, ball control and really defense, the big advantages here for Humber. They really gave nothing easy there for Georgian. Didn't allow them to pass midfield a lot of the time, and their ball control and security just so much better with their passing and hanging on to the ball. Georgian was a little bit of an issue there today, and that was the difference this afternoon.
Yeah, Humber has now punched their ticket to the gold medal match. There you see it, teams shaking hands. Credit to Georgian. They'll be taking on the St. Lawrence Surge. But for Humber, it's a date with the Conestoga Condors, a battle of the birds in the OCAA Gold Medal Championship. Broadcasting that right here on the Hawks Sports Network.
And Humber will host not only the gold medal game, but the bronze medal game as well next weekend. So a double matchup of some great OCAA rugby right underway, or right online there next week.
Yeah, it's been great to have you with us here for this contest. Humber victorious with gold medal hopes in the crosshairs. For my broadcast partner, Andrew Milani, myself, Matt Hamill, and everybody here at the Hawk Sports Network involved with today's game, thank you for watching, and we'll see you next time.